Before we jump into the next one, here's a quick reminder for all of you mobile gamers out there. The ESL Mobile Open is just around the corner, so head over to Twitter right now and get all of those details. Tell your friends, build a team, and earn a spot in the finals.
Feel the light, see the stage, hear the vibe. Pumped up to get ready for the fight. Big dreams, one chance, be the star. I'm the winner coming out of the dark.
Step out as a motivator. Let them know that the weight's up. That's how we know when we level up. Hey, that's how we know when we level up.
Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? It's time, get up.
Back against the wall, still I'm standing tall. Know about the ball, I got my fan with me. That's how we know when we level up. Yeah, that's how we know when we level up.
Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. It's time, get up.
Before we jump into the next one, here's a quick reminder for all of you mobile gamers out there. The ESL Mobile Open is just around the corner, so head over to Twitter right now and get all of those details. Tell your friends, build a team, and earn a spot in the finals.
Feel the light, see the stage, hear the vibe. Pumped up to get ready for the fight. Big dreams, one chance, be the star. I'm the winner coming out of the dark.
Step out as a motivator. Let them know that the weight's up. That's how we know when we level up. Hey, that's how we know when we level up.
Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? It's time, get up.
Back against the wall, still I'm standing tall. Know about the ball, I got my fan with me. That's how we know when we level up. Yeah, that's how we know when we level up.
Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. It's time, get up.
Welcome to the ESL Mobile Open Recap Show. My name's AJ, I'm the Mustachio, down here with the one and only Victor, where we bring you all of the condensed information from throughout the week.
Aye, that is right, because we're going to be coming in with some really interesting plays and highlights here today, so I hope you guys will be anticipating that really shortly. But I guess let's get down to brass tacks here. So first thing on the list here, Asphalt 9.
First things on the list is addressing this mask that's on my face, man. I look like an absolute joke, but unfortunately, we have to do this.
Yeah, I mean, it's socially distanced, you know, we're ensuring that we follow all standard operating procedures, so, you know, at least we know we'll be safe, you know.
Let's take a quick look at the format of the ESL Mobile Open so you guys can know exactly how you can jump in as well.
Welcome to ESL Mobile, the home of mobile esports. ESL Mobile is a global program designed to give you an opportunity to compete in your favorite mobile games, featuring multiple game titles, taking place in 3 regions and offering 2 levels of competition. There's something here for everyone. ESL Mobile Open is the gateway to competitive play, free to join and open to any resident of our supported regions. This is the best way for you to enjoy the thrill of victory and take your shot at winning cash prizes. Each season of Mobile Open will consist of 2 ladders, and the top competitors from each will qualify for the Mobile Open play-ins. ESL Mobile Challenge is your path to glory. If you are a top competitor in the Mobile Open play-ins, you will earn a spot in the Mobile Challenge season. The top team from each ladder will skip the play-ins and qualify directly for the Mobile Challenge season. This is where you'll have the chance to compete against the best players in your region. At the end of each season, top Mobile Challenge players will compete in the Mobile Challenge Finals to determine a winner and be crowned their region's champion. ESL Mobile is for everyone. This is your opportunity to join a diverse and growing community of players across the world and see just how far you can go.
ESL Mobile, it is definitely available and open for anyone and everyone that wants to jump into the competitive scene.
Oh yeah, of course. And the thing I love most about the ladder system here is that there's the very clear markers of progression, right? You start from like the low level, and then eventually work your way upwards, and it goes through so many different phases that the challenge is going to be different each time you enter a new phase, and that's what I love about it. Because as a player, you want to constantly be able to challenge yourself against the best, and I feel that this ladder system is definitely the best way in order to achieve that in a very organic way.
Yeah, and see, the ladder system also helps you get in there into the mobile opens. And how do you do that? The ladders are open on very, very specific times, all right? So jump onto ESL Play for more information. Now, once you are there, all you need to do is look for an opponent. Once again, they are open at very specific times. So with each victory, you gain points, and with each loss, you lose points. And each and every single team, they start off with 1,000 points, Victor.
Yeah, exactly. And it's 1,000 points to gain or to lose, because eventually, after you've already done all of your rounds there, you're going to be tabulating the final set of points, and that's going to determine your ranking on the ladder. So wins are obviously going to be much appreciated, but even if you take losses, you can still make up for that if you can just pull together a good streak of wins.
Yeah, so you just got to go back in there, continue picking up your points, because the top two will move on. And these are your ladder dates that are open, and don't worry if it's a little bit too fast, because that's just for you guys to catch up on the show. Jump over to the website and you will be able to see all of the dates there for the title that you most definitely love.
Yeah, and in terms of titles, we've got plenty for you guys to choose from. I mean, we've got racing games, we've got brawlers, we've got battle royales, even got card games as well. So it pretty much is something for everyone here, I believe.
Absolutely, no doubt about that at all, right? And not just these games. In the future upcoming seasons, I've got news that we will be adding on titles to the list of competitions that we are running as well. So that's just all the more a reason for everyone to jump in.
Yeah, everyone and all is welcome. Gates are open. Come on in.
So game number 1, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Let's take this a little fast. Asphalt 9 Legends dropping in. And this time around, a very familiar name as usual for the iOS segment. And for Android, we've got Top Copy, who has been topping the charts recently.
Yeah, I mean, true to his name, I mean, there's a reason why he's on top, and that's in the name itself. So, yeah, I mean, both of these guys have been so competitive all throughout the ladder here for Asphalt 9. So the thing is that me personally, I'm just anticipating the day that both of these guys will battle each other, because it's going to be very, very competitive just looking at the times alone.
Yeah, no doubt about that at all. Look at Top Copy there, and he is at the very top for the Android ladder. Both of these players have gone in there and registered already. Do not forget, if you are a Asphalt 9 Legends player and you want to be a part of this ladder, you can climb your way up. But if you don't register yourself, it's not going to be counted, which has happened to a couple of players in the past.
Yeah, and I think a really good tip for a lot of guys who are just jumping into this is to watch plenty of videos, because, learning the lines and a lot of these tracks can be a lot difficult, and given there's so many choices, you're not too sure which line to take or which power-up to go for. Watching these guys, the way they run it is the best way for you to learn. So just have a look at the way Top Copy gets a start here. Look at that. Gets a jump. Goes for the real grind. I think it's in the industry of skateboarding, we call that a 50-50 grind.
Yeah, and that was just absolute perfection from him, right? Quite honestly, even I did not know that you can use that railing there. and to Victor's point, that's the most important reason as to why you should be watching these best runs, these fastest laps that these players have taken, so you know which exact line to go in and pick as well.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is that the key to becoming the best is literally to keep practicing the same line over and over again until you perfected your timings, perfected your boost management. And in terms of that, Top Copy, just look at the way that he cancels his boost using the drift button and then uses it immediately, gets the jump, regains his boost completely, and then hits it again. I mean, all that is just timing. All that relies on your own personal rhythm. And Top Copy literally is one of the best guys in Asia right now who's doing this.
Yeah, no doubt about that at all. I mean, if you're a new player to the Asphalt 9 Legends brand itself, you will notice that you hit your nitrous and your nitrous bar is out, and you will be hunting, looking for these nitrous bottles to go in and pick up. You'll be wasting a lot of speed trying to pick up a drift, trying to build that nitrous back up. But as you can notice, none of that is being done by Top Copy. He takes a couple of, maybe a 16-meter drift, and that's almost his longest drift that he takes in there. But as for the rest of it, like you mentioned, it is all about your nitrous management and using the right nitrous at the right time. Let's take a quick look at the run here from a non-EX as well, who has been absolutely decimating the iOS ladders recently.
Yeah, just like his own counterpart in the Android space, Top Copy, like on EX has just been topping the ladders consistently, and that's no mean feat. Just being that consistent at this higher level is certainly an achievement in its own self.
Yeah. So let's take a quick look at his run, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. See if you guys can spot anything different. You most probably won't. Most of these top players, they know the exact way to make these runs, and they've gone in and practiced that exact same movement thousands of times for months and months non-stop just to get perfect runs like this.
Yeah, but right off the bat, I can tell one very big difference between Anon EX and Top Copy. You know what it is?
What?
The color of the car.
And quite honestly, that's the best way to see exactly who's the best, right? You take every other variable out of the game, and you just give them the exact car, the exact amount of power, the horsepower behind those wheels, and you get them to just grind their skills up against each other. And it's all about knowledge as well as skills from all out there.
And you will notice that Anon EX and Top Copy, they're both using the Cayman GT4. At this point, I think it's probably the most balanced car in the game right now. Hence why a lot of top players prefer to use this car over others that may be faster a little bit or maybe corner a little bit better. But at the end of the day, you want something that will be able to handle most conditions, most tracks. And especially on the track like this on Shanghai, there's still plenty of twists and turns that you need to be able to have the handling in order to handle it. So well done to Anon EX. I mean, just look at the difference in time between both of these guys, from the Android guys and the iOS guy. Like a Top Copy, 69.898. Anon EX, 69.892. That's a difference of 0.006 seconds.
And when you go for the top level plays of Asphalt 9 Legends, that's all you're going to be finding, right? These microseconds of difference between them as they go. Like once again, right, Victor, they practice that exact same run non-stop, day in, day out, to be able to complete it perfectly. And what they have pulled off there on that screen is not easy. If you guys don't believe me, Asphalt 9 Legends, absolutely free to go in there and download, and all of you can participate in the ESL qualifiers as long as you're from the Asia Pacific region, right? And you'll be able to use the exact same car. You don't need to upgrade nothing. Just go in there and try to pull off what they've done. Yeah. Not easy at all. I've tried.
Speaking for experience, I can see that, yeah. But indeed, the big draw about Asphalt 9 for me is just the fact that you can jump in and you're instantly familiar with how to play it. The controls are not that complicated. You can kind of like gleam how to like manage your boost and how to drift around. Then the best part is like it's more about your choices of like where you want to go to, which line you want to take, and then what powerful ups you want to pick up from. So then the next stage of that obviously will just be learning the track, knowing what the optimal line is, and then just keep practicing that until you got it down to a T.
Speaking of games that are easy to pick up and jump right into, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Brawl Stars will be with you right after the break.
Before we jump into the next one, here's a quick reminder for all of you mobile gamers out there. The ESL Mobile Open is just around the corner, so head over to Twitter right now and get all of those details. Tell your friends, build a team, and earn a spot in the finals.
Feel the lights, see the stage, hear the vibe. Pumped up to get ready for the fight. Big dreams, one chance, be the star. I'm the winner coming out of the dark.
Step out as a motivator. Let them know that the wait's up. That's how we know when we level up. Hey, that's how we know when we level up.
Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? It's time, get up.
Back against the wall, still I'm standing tall. Know about the ball, I got my fan with me. That's how we know when we level up. Yeah, that's how we know when we level up. Level up.
All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. It's time, get up.
Welcome back to the ESL Mobile Recap Show. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name's AJ. I'm the Mustachio down here with the one and only Victor. And this time, we're going to bring the stars out for you guys.
Yeah, I think you forgot about one more person.
Yeah.
Big Baby Bear.
Big Baby Bear?
How can you forget about him?
Hello there, baby. Now, I'm not very fond of that bear, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Each and every single time I meet that bear on the field, I have no idea why. She is my only weakness.
I mean, to be fair, it's the most annoying thing sometimes, you know. It just keeps chasing after you, you know. I mean, I guess it's attracted to you or something.
Now, Triple B was the team that dropped in here for a couple of series, and they have managed to get the highlights for us. But before we get into their highlights, let's take a quick look at the ladder, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, because this is going to be very important. Triple B, who sits down right at the very bottom, have managed to scrape through in here, and even though they've got just that one victory, they've managed to done so because they have completed their 10 games for that ladder system.
Yeah, that is the minimum requirement actually to be able to be qualified into the ladder here. So it just goes to show that sometimes, you know, it's not always about the wins. Just showing up to the fights alone can already give you a spot, you know, here in the ladders. So that's why participation is so important, guys. You know, you just, even if you're not getting the wins you want, just keep trying again and again and again. You never know. You might just have the chance to get through just because you meet that minimum requirement.
Unless you're Queen Nai and we need to complete 10 people within the qualifier ladder and you just happen to get lucky. Because they will sit down in the third spot. And of course, Jupiter and Kick's team, they sit down in the first and second spot. They will not be performing later on today, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. You will see exactly what I mean. But as for now, let's bring in the highlights that we have in here for you guys. Because for match number 1, so that's what I meant, right? Qualified to Challenger for those first 2 games. So they won't be performing later on today. This was the opening match, Victor, between KYG as well as Triple B. But KYG actually took a 2-0 victory.
Yeah, and that's just really down to the use of the Colette. You know, Colette is so important in a map like Heist because simply her ability to jump in and out makes it her a very big target, or rather a very important target for your opponents. So the thing is that in some of these cases here, you can see Tuna Mayo just going for that flank all the way in, managed to get himself in a good position, puts down the cannon, actually does enough damage there to take down the Brock. And with a super being sent out, look at that, the save was really low. All they needed to do was just rush into it. Yeah,
there was just no way they could go in there and capture that. And of course, later on, as we dropped in here, it was quite a difficult situation as you've got 2 of those hot zones to go for.
Yeah, exactly, and I love how this is implemented because it basically makes 2 lanes. So you as an assassin, like what Tuna Mayo does, he just basically has to jump between both of these hot zones and try to find kills in every zone. And this is just beautifully done there by Tuna Mayo. Look at that, just emoting as well, just to rub salt in that wound.
Yeah, to be able to pick up one hot zone and then protect the other one as well, to wait for your friends to come over and help you out. Absolute perfection coming through. And that's exactly why KYG picked up the 2.0 there.
Yeah, and Illness was just able to stay in long enough to be able to get the capture done. So then this is the more or less the last round here. They're trying their best here to try to push them off the hot zone. You can see Wonka just wrapping around there, gets a good flank, does a good number there onto the Sprout, and that pretty much captured the zone for them. Now, yeah, this is the next one to try to go in. Super is going to be able to clear out the wall, so the movement is going to be easy, but Tuamei doesn't need that. He can just jump straight in.
Yeah, if anything, you know, Wonka was truly the MVP there, but, you know, the better team will win. Uncle Fium, this guy was an absolute headbutt genius, man. He just went in and out of that fake multiple times, giving Team Red that win there at the end.
Yeah, the Colette is always the most dangerous target on your opponent team, and you can see that exactly why. Look at that, Uncle Fium put enough damage there onto the save to allow both his teammates to just rush in and get that final kill, and that got them that first set.
Okay, and then of course, they will go in here and pick up win number 2 as well. Rise Esports, they have definitely been rising up the hearts of everyone in here within the Brawl Stars community itself. And Uncle Fio, man, the sort of damage that you guys are doing, and he takes Wonka out as well within that play.
I mean, he charged his super so fast in that round there. I mean, that's why he's able to do that twice, you know. Normally, you wouldn't be able to see a Colette do that, but it's just a testament to his skills.
Okay, now let's see, as we dropped in here later on, it was a fight for the hot zone, which clearly Triple B had so many issues picking up, and it was just Rise Esports all the way.
Yeah, unlike the previous map, this one doesn't have the wall in between, so therefore it makes a very, very large battlefield. So you really need to be able to get heroes that can pull off their area denial well. But look at that, Arconfium, he looks at it, he doesn't care, he just jumps straight in, takes out Pete Pelly at it, and gets a capture on the hot zone. I mean, man, this is just dominance here.
Yeah, Triple B, they just got, what, like 6% of that zone there, and obviously they're not going to be happy with their performance. Not much of a fight in there for, you know, Rise Esports, but in game number 2, we saw a much stronger side from Triple B.
Yeah, well, they really tried their best. Again, and like, the thing is that Arconfium was really, really, really good. I mean, you can tell that he was really good in his placements, really had a lot of damage to deal with, and especially on this character, he had a lot of health to pull a lot of these plays off. And look at that, he can just rush straight in. Look at how low both of them got, but that's the thing. They had enough health to be able to just rush in and be up against the faces of BBB here. Now, they tried their best to keep the area denial there. The tick apparently particularly was really annoying here, and they were able to just hold it on for the last second there. Still managed to eke it out somewhat.
No, here's the thing, right? Rise Esports, they could have closed that game off even earlier. They didn't want to. They were like, oh, you want that hot zone? Let me come over there. We will take you guys on, and then we'll win the game. And that's exactly how they did it. They did it in style, Victor.
Yeah, so the thing is that for both of those games from the highlights that we watched just now, it's actually KYG and Rise who won the whole rounds 2-0. But the reason why BBB is in the ladder is because they completed the 10 rounds.
Yep.
10 rounds is the minimum you need to be able to stay on the ladder. So it shows like even if you get dominated by another team, just by showing up to all these fights gives you the opportunity to get up into the top 10.
And we'll tell you exactly why important that is, right? It may sound like, oh, Victor and Mustachio, these guys is just roasting Triple B. No, it's not at all. If you want to be a champion, you've got to go in there and you've got to compete, Victor.
Yeah.
But if you want to be truly the greatest champion, you've got to go in there and compete with those who are better than you. And when you do that time and time again, your own skills will level up, you know, tremendously. And that's exactly what Triple B is in here searching for themselves. If it's not going to be this season that they dominate in, this is not going to be the only season in the ESL Mobile Open.
Yeah, indeed. And that's why we wanted to see a lot more participation, because I feel like out of all the games in our list here, Brawl Stars is probably the easiest to pick up. And no joke, you can literally pick it up and play it like right now and start winning games. It's that simple.
Now, let's see exactly how we want to take this day, right? Because we've already started the shooting. Let's make it a little bit more complicated and throw in a little bit of tactics in there as well, shall we? After the break, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, PUBG Mobile.
Before we jump into the next one, here's a quick reminder for all of you mobile gamers out there. The ESL Mobile Open is just around the corner, so head over to Twitter right now and get all of those details. Tell your friends, build a team, and earn a spot in the finals.
Feel the lights, see the stage, hear the vibe. Pumped up to get ready for the fight. Big dreams, one chance, be the star. I'm the winner coming out of the dark.
Step out as a motivator. Let them know that the weight's up. That's how we know when we level up. Ay, that's how we know when we level up.
Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? It's time, get up.
Back against the wall, still I'm standing tall. Know about the ball, I got my fan with me. That's how we know when we level up. Yeah, that's how we know when we level up.
Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. It's time, get up.
Welcome back to the ESL Mobile Open Recap Show, where we condense all of the weekly action for you. My name's AJ, I'm the Mustachio, down here with the one and only Victor to bring you all of the hottest action from the week.
Yeah, indeed. We're going to be going into some PUBG M action this time around. So a little bit of Battle Royale for you folks at home here. So got plenty to talk about, I think, later on when you get into the clips.
A couple of quite legendary nades being dropped. I loved seeing each and every one of those takedowns. Let's jump in, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, because we've got 4 highlights in here for you today from 4 different groups, and all of them were quite impressive this week, Victor.
Yeah, we were like watching it before the show, and we're going like, how did they do that? The whole time. It's just that impressive sometimes, seeing the level of play that some of these guys can do, and the situational awareness, that's the thing that kind of wins a lot of games, I feel, for especially the top teams. Just knowing where other people are around the map at all times, and just gathering as much information as you can, both from like what you can see and hear, and also from what your teammates tell you, and taking all this information together and applying that is the way that you can find yourself winning those chicken dinners.
Yeah, and communication is definitely key. We will see at one point later on where, the whole area was smoked out, but they just had one key man with a high point within the area itself who was able to spot out those enemies who were under the cover of smoke, and still they managed to take them down and get that winner chicken dinner. Absolute impressive stuff coming in from all of them in here today. And I feel like Infinite Esports kind of were the one that was most impressive to me within this whole week. Let's take a quick look at the ladder, Victor, to see exactly who sits down at the very top.
Yeah, so we got Say's Assassin Esports, 372 points, 149 kill points for themselves, so that's pretty much puts them on the top spot. Top Guns and EDSK Revians both are tied actually in terms of overall points, 350 for both of them. But in terms of kill points, ESDK is just slightly higher here, so Top Guns really just banking on their placement points really to make the difference between the two of them.
Yeah, Falling Star Killer, they will pick up the 4th position with the 312 points, 127 on the kill points. Zero Fox given limited edition, as well as Puma X Celeb Esports will all sit in that 5th, 6th, as well as 7th position. They share 296 points. The only thing that makes the biggest of difference between them are those kill points, and clearly limited edition, they do slightly better when it comes to positioning, but it was Zero Fox given as well as Puma X Celeb who really get down and dirty, getting those kills, raking themselves up all of those points. DMS Crew, of course, will wrap up the first page here with that 8th position with the 291 points.
Yeah, it's so competitive there, especially positions 5, 6, and 7 there. And in the second screen here, we got the Onyx Esports right now, 9th spot, 290 points, 106 kill points. Not too bad actually, considering. Intense G, Blacklist International, rounding it up at 288 and 280 respectively. Excelsior, Beta Vanguard, both separated only by 10 points there, 275 and 265. Infinite Esports, NSP Era, and UPET Esport, they round up the bottom 16 here, so 261 points, 258 points, 252 points for them respectively. And certainly if they can just eke up a little bit more in terms of placement points or even just kill points, just being more aggressive and going out and getting ganks, that can definitely propel them up the ladder very quickly.
Yeah, just one day can make the biggest of difference from that 5th position all the way down to the 11th spot there. Just one great game from any one of these teams can literally push them up to contend for that 5th position or even approach in for the 4th spot, right? So a lot of action in here that is being anticipated for the PUBG Mobile segment only because of how crazy hot these ladders are.
Yeah, and the thing is that, when it comes to like in the long run, when you run many rounds, many weeks, that's where you start to see the teams that are actually consistent versus the teams that are lucky, because being able to stay in the top 5 on every single round, that's the true mark of a top team, because being able to stay not only high up but also able to be competitive in kill points just goes to show that you do have the skills and the necessary will in order to win in these kind of tournaments.
Yeah, no doubt about that at all. And in terms of the consistency, we also need to see in terms of that placement as well as being able to pick those skills up. You can't just continuously play for those placements, because like some of the teams, you will not be able to enjoy that top spot for long, because those skill points, like what you see in here right now, is just so important. It's like that extra bonus that pushes you up the board, isn't it?
Yeah, and this was a clip that I kind of got questioning a bit. Why did he put that smoke there? It didn't really quite help him out. And unfortunately, he didn't really quite watch his left-hand flank, so that was really unfortunate there. So Beta, unfortunately, got themselves eliminated in this round here. And so, yeah, just moving in, finds one through the window. I mean, this is just so wide open. No cover at all for that fella. Poor guy.
and of course that's the way we play this. This is the start of the game, so
Ooh.
you know things were quite a little spicy in here. They picked their drops. I mean, the RNG gods do play a huge part in here, you know. No harm bringing that E mode
Yeah.
out a little bit, but of course picking your drop zones really does decide your fate ultimately.
I just love how cheeky that was, you know, just pulling out the emote after getting a kill. But especially it was a revenge kill some more, so that just adds extra salt to it. And this Alpti just really using the hillside to his advantage here. He had the rock, he knew there was some people behind, so he had to turn around and keep attention of that long range there down the road. And this was right up on top here. Frankie getting a nice drop shot there to be able to get the kill. And this is a really tight situation here. Look at the fire that's all around him. He has nowhere to go. He can't go down, he can't go up. He can only just heal right in this corner here. And fortunately for him, he was able to get a heal just in time. Misses the Molotov, but still was able to hold off the top floor. Now he's trying to figure out which way do I go. Gets out onto the balcony and waiting to see whether the rest of them would try to push upstairs. What he didn't realize is though, across the building was another fella, and he was able to snipe him out. So very unfortunate there for him.
Super duper unfortunate, man. But great survival skills, just that he didn't have much of that backup. His own team members were getting tanked left, right, center. And you know, at the end of the day, that was all they were able to muster up. And this was a nade coming in here from Onyx, which doesn't really seem to connect, and he just wastes a little bit too much of time, giving a perfect opener for his opponent. But that nade, though, will go on to force his opponent right in towards him. Opti gets that kill, but unfortunately gets taken out as well.
Yeah, this section here, especially this final circle, this is where the high ground is everything. Like, you just want to be able to stay as high up as possible because that gives you the biggest vision all around. You can spot teams so easily. You can scout people out. You can do the call outs to let your teammates know where to fire, where to focus on. And the thing is that Infinite Esports, they coming in from the northern side, they had the high ground advantage going into the fights here. And really, it was just picking up the scraps when you see all these other teams just scrapping against each other. Infinite Esports, pretty much, they still had 3 members up alive, and there was only 1 member left to kill. So pretty much that won them that round.
Yeah, that was just the numbers game, right? And of course, Infinite Esports would pick up the round 2 of Group 2. This is Game 3 of Group 3, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. And White Ship managed to pick up the winner chicken dinner here. As obviously we run through the match at the start, it was chaotic as usual, Victor.
I mean, yeah, the early game fight sometimes can be some of the hardest because you don't necessarily have all the equipments that you need. Sometimes those only come towards the late game after you've done plenty of farming. This was a very unfortunate situation. Jumping, running in at the same time, getting gunned down from the same person. Super frustrating, but, you know, that's life sometimes.
Yeah, and of course they play through the smoke here. Semiro going in for the quick pickup, and throughout the whole way, the biggest meta within this round itself were those close range combat. And you know, if you didn't have the SMGs at your arsenal, quite a number of these players were in a bit of trouble there, Victor.
Yeah, I mean, you really want to be able to maximize the amount of DPS you can do with these weapons, and the SMGs in this game are pretty much the best weapon to use in close quarters. Some might say that even the shotguns might be viable, but I rarely see people win fights with a shotgun anyway, because the SMG can just put up way more damage anyway, just by emptying the clip.
Yeah, and at this point, it was already close to the end already. The tree would, of course, provide great cover, but it was a situation where he was outnumbered, and the numbers game almost always get that winner chicken dinner.
Yeah, so now this is going to be Group 4, Round 4, and this is where we will see YIL team as you get the chicken dinner. So some of the early game fights here were a little bit messy. I mean, obviously, being on the balcony here was a huge advantage because that allowed him to scout out the entirety of the road. This is a really good shot here from Felix to be able to catch one between the fences. And then he's got New Bebo getting a drop shot here, trying his best to rush in front, but unfortunately gets himself knocked down, and I don't think they were able to follow that kill anyway. This was an impressive display of spray control there, spraying down the entire magazine just to get the one guy out of the car. And this spray control, man, this one really impressed me because it's really difficult with the amount of kick that weapon actually gives on recoil to be able to send the shots down that well. It was really, really good.
Okay, this was the panic moment for Vinci T as he got in here. He just didn't know. Do I focus on the right or left?
Classic situation, you know. The ring around the rosies, the first one to get dropped is the loser. So unfortunately, in this case, it was Vicente, and yeah, he had to take an L on that one.
Yeah, okay, and this was the nade, I believe, that will be popped right through in a bit, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Just unfortunate that you have to be camping right beside a vehicle, thinking that it can give you that cover. It is V Zen with the beautiful takedown and the approach. And this was the smoke play coming in from N9 was just absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, the situation where he knew someone was going to flank him, so he got there in the right place at the right time to take the kill, and the rest of his teammates were able to clear out the shack as well, so very well done for them. Now Beta just had to try to find the rest of them. They managed to find a couple of guys just hanging around by the car, and fortunately found themselves so exposed despite having that little piece of cover. It really didn't help them that time, so Beta continued to try to push in. Unfortunately lost one of the members in the process. They still continue just crawling through the grass here because it's so wide open in this final circle. Now Zero, let's try his best, pushes in front, gets that one kill. That was enough for him. For then, he had to hide right behind the car here, trying to figure out where the position is. But unfortunately, look at that. Grenade just jumps out of nowhere, knocks him down. He's out of the game.
And of course, Okar couldn't do much about that at all. And then 3 players were left on the field within 2 teams. And this nade will go on to make the whole scene just scream for joy.
Look at that. Perfect execution. Landed right behind him. Wasn't enough to get the knockdown. Now he knows there's only one person left. All he had to do is just find that last man, get that kill. The smoke, unfortunately, making it a little bit difficult, but the big mistake here is that he jumped up. He wanted to try to get the kill immediately on him, but then Beta just held his own. He held his cool, but in the end, it was still going to be a win there for Gil team.
Yeah, it was really well played. He should have used, the tree a little bit closer by for cover. Unfortunately, he will get caught out. His opponent just closed in that gap. Can't use the tree, can't use much. All you could do was use the grass, and there's just so much grass can do.
Yeah, but again, you had to be very aggressive, especially in those final closing moments. This was a really good catch here from was that Garrison? Yeah, he really was able to just pop one out there when he wasn't expecting it. I wasn't too sure what was happening here. It looked like the fellow was like floating for a second there inside the room, but Onzen, he didn't mind. He all he needed was the kill, and he got 2 of it, in fact, right off the car.
One of the most brilliant plays, right? When he opens and closes those doors, he just uses that split second to take those shots and immediately back away so that nobody else can shoot him. And throughout the whole of the 4 recaps, I feel like this guy's play, Dean, was the best of them all.
Yeah, sometimes you have to use tricks like that, to just get the extra edge of your opponents. And quite frankly, as long as it works in the game, it's still completely legal. So very well done to them. This is where TKL started to shine a lot more, especially on this final circle. They had control over this building, gave them a good view of the road, and I think the call-outs was very important here because they had to spray through the smoke there, just hoping to get the shots in, and Nobita, so lucky, was able to get the knockdown in the last hit there, and the final spray there, managed to catch the last person. So now it's just TKL versus one more team there, and Eden. Eden had the high ground initially. They had a big advantage, but 2 knockdowns there pretty much sealed the deal as TKL just rushes their position, gets that final kill, and that gave them the chicken dinner in round 5.
They did not deserve that chicken dinner. Their opponents had so much of cover there. 2-man versus 4, and they just breach the fort, take them down, and that just put them into a mode of panic. They're like, oh, wait a minute, we outnumber them. There's no way we should be losing this round.
Yeah.
And just that one moment of mistake. Winner, chicken dinner. TKL picks it up to wrap up the day.
Yeah, I mean, well done to them. I mean, all 4 of these teams here really have been trying the best, and to see them be able to reap the fruits of their labor here is certainly a joy to watch.
Absolutely, no doubt about that at all, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I mean, we've started things off here fast and hot with Asphalt 9 Legends, and then we brought you into another game which equally, just like Asphalt 9 Legends, you should be able to pick up and play. And then we dropped in here for a bit of game that requires skills as you go in there shooting your shots off. Now, the next game that we have really rakes your brain now, doesn't it, Victor?
Oh yeah, you're going to be doing a lot of sitting and thinking in this one here, I believe. So hopefully you guys will be able to find the entertainment in that.
Okay, now right after the break, it is going to be Legends of Runeterra. Be right back.
Before we jump into the next one, here's a quick reminder for all of you mobile gamers out there. The ESL Mobile Open is just around the corner, so head over to Twitter right now and get all of those details. Tell your friends, build a team, and earn a spot in the finals.
Feel the lights, see the stage, hear the vibe. Pumped up to get ready for the fight. Big dreams, one chance, be the star. I'm the winner coming out of the dark.
Step out as a motivator. Let them know that the weight's up. That's how we know when we level up. Ay, that's how we know when we level up.
Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? It's time, get up.
Back against the wall, still I'm standing tall. Know about the ball, I got my fan with me. That's how we know when we level up. Yeah, that's how we know when we level up.
Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. It's time, get up.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is the ESL Mobile Open Recap Show, where Victor and I will condense all of the weekly information as well as action for you. And right now, we have got one of the games that I have really loved to play, but unfortunately, I get lost in a sea of cards and I start crying at night. It is Legends of Runeterra, people.
That's a really funny way to put it, but yeah, I really appreciate that joke. But no, but the thing is that Legend of Terra is all about collecting cards and building the best possible deck, right? So obviously you want to be able to hoard as many cards as you want, and you want to feel the best cards in your deck in order to win you the games. And pretty much that's what you're going to be seeing in a lot of these matches later on here, because you know the strong decks are usually the ones that are most feared by opponents here.
Yeah, and there's one clan here within the Legends of Runeterra that's absolutely annihilating all other players, and that is all of the players from Team Black. Let's take a quick look at the leaderboard first here, so you'll see exactly who's dominating up top. The Scav, of course, sits down in that #1 spot with his streak now extended to the 11 wins, and Carpin right there behind him. Obstaquim will be taking the 3rd position, and they have the 1,255, 1,206, and 1,203 points for the top 3 spots now.
Yeah, so Psycho and Bright NA, they're really close to each other, and even though Bright NA actually technically has way more wins compared to Psycho, Psycho still is ahead in points technically, so perhaps Bright NA just needs to lose a little bit less games there comparatively. But he had, to his credit, been grinding quite a lot, even more so I would say compared to the Scav or Carpin. Just needs to get a little bit edge in order to be able to get up one more place here in the ladder.
Okay, now Aragon together with the Meat Man with the 6th and 7th position there. Mickey Hustler with the 8th spot. Aftermoon sits in the 9th position, and Keys TY sits down in that 10th spot with the 1,137 points. On the streak there is at a -1, a total of 9 games played for the 10th position, and of course a total of 6 games played for the 9th spot. Aftermoon, not a lot in there. They still have some time to grind in here.
Yeah, the thing is that in this game, you know, it's not necessarily how many wins you get necessarily. It's all about your ranking points. The point system, as outlined by the ESL Mobile Open project, you know, it really weighs a lot more on like participation rather than just pure wins alone. So here we go. This is the first round here on the highlights here. We got Black Ops Guillem versus Bangson, and right off the bat, you can see that Bangson was in a very tight spot. He was already down to 12 health, and he didn't really have much cards on the table here compared to Ops Guillem, because Ops Guillem, you look at it, he has a 6-6 and a 7-6. Those are 2 very important cards, very strong cards, and on the table right now for Bangson, he only has like a 1-2, 4-3, and a 2-3. And what's even worse is that inside his hand, he doesn't even have any high-level cards in there. All of them are quite low, so I'm not too sure what he could actually do in this case. So they're going to do the face checks here, and obviously the 6 and the 7 are still going to be in play here. So that's the biggest threat that Bangson has to figure out how to deal with in these coming rounds.
Yeah, and of course in round number 8, we thought that Bangson might be able to make a little bit of a comeback here, but unfortunately the cards that he was pulling out onto the table just didn't really show that story. Left with a 6 health on his Nexus, he was about to, you know, get decimated, but he will be able to pull it out a little further here, Victor.
A little bit further, but I think the most annoying thing for him is that look at that 6 mana cost card. I mean, originally when he drew it, it was at a 9. Managed to get it down to a 6, but he's just that 1 mana short of drawing that. Perhaps that would have made the difference, who knows, but in this case there, that the 6 mana cost card was just stuck in his hand the whole time. He really wasn't able to play it out, and as you can see later on, he did the only thing he could do, was just basically like just send out some buffs, try to eliminate some of the cards, or at least lower down the health, but overall you can see that Obscure was just running such a dominant game here. I mean, 5 cards on the table. There's a Mountain Goat that's going to be coming out, because why not here? I mean, Bangson literally had to pull all the stops here in order to be able to survive as long as he can, but the fact that he was already very low on health, didn't really have much mana in his pool to begin with, it really was an uphill climb for him, honestly, throughout this entire round.
Yeah, and of course, they would go on to pull it out a little further. Bangson thinking that, you know, maybe luck will hit, maybe a great card will fall into his hand. Unfortunately, he's got the mana now, but just not the number of right cards in his deck or in his hands to take on the likes of Black Obsequim. And at this point, it's pretty much game over already.
Yeah, the best you could hope for is just do some damage mitigation, try to reduce the total damage power that your opponent is able to do, but there's only so much you can do in a game like Runeterra, and really the biggest issue was that he didn't really have the right kind of cards in his hand here in order to be able to get that victory. So yeah, by this point here, look at the buff, 13-9. I mean, one hit from that card alone was going to be enough, so obviously he realized it was a losing game anyway, so he surrendered.
Later on, of course, we've got Bruce 1915 going up against Black Isros, and if there's anything, if you're not really familiar with the names of the players, I think as long as you look for the words black in front of their names, yeah, you know they're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, and that's sometimes like having a clan like that, when you're putting your best minds together, that's how you end up dominating tournaments. And Team Black, like, I have no doubt that, privately and like during their sparring time, they're just probably sparring against each other, trying to optimize their deck builds, making sure that they really bring the best cards possible to these tournaments. And that effort really shows here because the way that Black has been dominant so far this week has really shown that they have a huge potential of getting high up in the ladder. So I'm really hopeful to see whether or not they'll be able to go quite far. So as you see on the board right now, they're up against Bruce 1915. Istrios, he has a 13-3. So the thing is that Bruce, now, he didn't really have a lot of good cards in his hand. He's got 2 5-mana cost cards, and that's about it. So his best bet here, is probably try to either buff up the health of his minions or perhaps maybe get some additional damage. So he tried his best here, put down a 2-3. The thing is that the charge coming out from Istrios is going to make things really difficult for him in the long run here.
Yeah, and you just need to wait for the next couple of draws, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It'll show you exactly why Ishiros as well as his Team Black is just so feared, because their decks as well as the combos that they just managed to pull out are just absolutely crazy right now. Even as we see the layout here on the table as to what's being played on the table, Bruce 9 and 15 has got no chance whatsoever. And in order to make a comeback in here, he needs a miracle pull, and that's exactly what he was hoping for.
Yeah, I mean, his best bet was try to buff up one of his cards. Like, right now, he's just running such a deficit in damage here that just one hit from that 15-3 card is going to be enough to take him down. So, like, he's probably at this point just weighing his options a little bit. He still has 10 mana, so he could play almost his entire hand here if he wanted to within the next few rounds. But the question for him really is just, what is the best combination I could do here in order to buff up one of my minions here? So let's see what the decision he makes here. He really took his sweet time here because naturally that 15-3 card is the biggest threat right now. He has got to figure out some way of eliminating it. He didn't seem like he had enough damage there. I mean, again, the shield's just making it impossible for him to get the one-hit kill on the 15-3 card. So tries, okay, uses the Draven.
Asphalt gets popped out as well.
Yeah. So, but unfortunately, loses his entire board there. So, yeah, pretty much a lose here for Bruce 1915.
Yeah, it's just game over. No way at all for them to, kind of stand back against the players from Team Black. And, as the game continued, it was, of course, Black Isros with that pressure onto Bruce 9 and 15 from the get-go, Victor.
Yeah, I mean, you can already see that, like, just in terms of number of minions alone, Black is just dominating this round even. So Bruce already brought down to 8 health, very dire straits here. Tries to use as much of his mana as he can, but still kept a reserve of 3 for which gets carried forward to the next round. So he's hoping that at least to be able to get a good combo out later on in this round here. But Black, he can literally take his sweet time because he's got 20 health. There's not much damage, at least as it appears on Bruce's table right now. So all Black needed to do was just be able to outlast Bruce in terms of number of rounds from this point onwards.
And of course, that's not going to be something that's difficult for, Ishraf at all, as he has proven so many times around in these games that he has taken. And he's got an amazing hand placed out onto the table, brings out his 8-5 against that 2-1 right on top. And that face jack is not going to be doing Bruce 9 and 15 any favors at all. And then Aurelian Sol will make his presence seen.
Yeah, so yeah, it's going to be deciding between one of these three cards. He picks the 10-10. Excellent choice there. I mean, again, you want to maximize the amount of damage you can do here, especially when your opponent is already so low. So Spell Thief is going to be brought out. Let's see what effect that's going to have here. Gonna be able to draw one. Doesn't look like that was that strong of a card to begin with. So it looks like he might try to go for another here. He still has 7 mana though, so.
Now the audience understands what in the world Mustachio meant when he said that this game requires so much of brain power. Oh goodness me. You really need to know each and every single one of the cards that are available in the game, how they interact with each other. And these guys, they played at such a high elo. It just blows my mind, Victor.
Yeah, there's sometimes even strategies that I can't even think about, can't even comprehend that these guys just able to pull in and day out. And look at that, with the one hit there, he's managed to upgrade that card to a 10-3. Even though it's down to 3 health, the fact that he has so much damage on his table here just makes it so intimidating to play against. So Aurelion Sol going to be brought out here. And unfortunately, that means that there's pretty much nothing here for Bruce 9 to play. He only has a 2-5 in his table. He's able to bring out 2-1. And just the longer this goes on, the more painful it is for Bruce 1915 because Black has not taken any damage at all to his face.
Yeah, pulls out the Great Beyond as well. And that's all it needed, man.
Yeah.
That's all it needed. And Bruce goes in with that surrender. You know, when that's a common resolution for anybody that goes up against the Team Black players. It's a common resolution. That at one point you're just like, okay, I'm done, bro. You don't even need to tell me. You don't even need to show me what you've got.
Yeah, I mean, this is the testament to how strong Team Black has been right now in Legends of Runeterra. So, yeah, congratulations to them because they certainly have done quite a really good streak here, and they can only go up. That's the only thing. This king taking those wins, getting a long win streak here is going to certainly propel them up the ladder very, very quickly.
And this is why we want to show you guys the weekly recap show. We know there are a lot of you out there within the community that you don't really have the time to dedicate to watch all of these matches for these mobile games throughout the week, but quite a number of you play almost all of these games, and you might be in a position where you're thinking, dude, I've got a way better deck that I can bring in there and absolutely annihilate Team Black. That's what we wanted to do. The ESL Mobile Open is for everyone. And how do you go in there and jump on? We've already explained it, but I'll tell you once more. ESL website. Jump on. You'll get all of the information you need. In the break that we take, maybe that's what you want to do. Victor and I will be right back.
Before we jump into the next one, here's a quick reminder for all of you mobile gamers out there. The ESL Mobile Open is just around the corner, so head over to Twitter right now and get all of those details. Tell your friends, build a team, and earn a spot in the finals.
Feel the lights, see the stage, hear the vibe. Pumped up to get ready for the fight. Big dreams, one chance, be the star. I'm the winner coming out of the dark.
Step out as a motivator. Let them know that the weight's up. That's how we know when we level up. Hey, that's how we know when we level up.
Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? It's time, get up.
Back against the wall, still I'm standing tall. Know about the ball, I got my fan with me. That's how we know when we level up. Yeah, that's how we know when we level up. Level up.
All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. It's time, get up.
Welcome to the ESL Mobile Open Recap Show, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. My name is AJ, I'm the Mustachio, and this is the one and only Victor. And we are here to bring you all of the condensed information from all the hottest action of the week. And one final title to move through, and that is League of Legends Wild Rift.
Yeah, the premier mobile title right now from Riot Games, and it's been an absolute treat this week, I should say. Part of my words there, because this week Geek Fam has been on fire.
Geek Fam has been on fire throughout the whole of the group stages. They have not dropped even a single series, not one series at all. And of course, as we opened up this week, Geek Fam took on their biggest rival in the Malaysian scene, and that would be Berjaya Dragons. Let's take a quick look at the leaderboards, Victor. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. Just like that, they're already able to top the board there with a score difference of 10 against Berjaya Dragons. I mean, such an impressive rise here. Geek Fam on top now in week 3 ahead of Berjaya Dragons. Sem9 not too far behind, but they're in punching distance of Berjaya Dragons now. So BJD just got to buck up, because they could soon find themselves slipping even further down if they keep dropping games.
Yeah, so Sem9 pick up the 3rd position in there. Eminence Raptors in that 4th spot. RTZ underranked. They had an opportunity to force a tiebreaker between themselves as well as Eminence Raptors if they had taken a 2-0 victory. Then again, they were facing off against Sem9 this week. That was no small task, and Sem9 clearly showed them that they are the more dominant ones to wrap up the group stages. It's Lynx Esports in that 6th and 7th position, taken up by Splat Zone. Insomniacs, very well played by RTZ, Lynx Esports as well as Platzone. Unfortunately, there is only space for 4 of the top teams in here. Now let's take a quick look, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, because this is the highlights of the game between Geek Fam as well as Berjaya Dragons.
Yeah, so I believe it's going to be one of the early game fights here right around the Dragon Pit. You can see BGD, they got off to a great start. They got the first blood here, but they found themselves quickly trying to get into the middle of this death ball here that's been set up by Geek Fam. They were able to trade it out 2-1 here, and BJD Sagi literally had to run for his life there, was able to get a flash at the last minute, and was able to recall back to base. So this is when the Dragon finally came up. You can see Geek Fam already getting themselves in position here, try to get a take. They already had a good position here, gets a jump in, gets the kill onto the Janna, and then BJD now just scrambling and trying to mitigate the damage here, but Chili got himself caught out. He is literally right in the middle of the death ball. Final spark there from the Lux, was able to pick up the Kaiser. That was just painful there for BJD, because they not only lost a fight, they also lost the Dragon as well.
I don't know who Berjaya Dragons are trying to trick, okay? Because it's not going to work with me. This is not Berjaya Dragons. They walked into this match. They did not want to win this. And if they think that, you know, that sort of a ideation of a strategy is going to throw Geek Fam off, they better be careful. Because even Geek Fam knows that this was not Berjaya Dragons at their best, Victor.
Oh yeah, because it's so weird to see Berjaya Dragons fail to take the Drakes here, but that's the thing. Geek Fam has really stepped up the game in week 3 here, and it really shows. You can see the Garen tried his best here to bait Geek Fam into walking through the corridor, but they just didn't care. They stayed together in the river, just slowly picked off BGD one by one. Sagi was pretty much the last person left alive here, and there's not much a single Kaiser can do against a 5-man composition here from Geek Fam.
No way, man. And you know, even with all of those engagements that Berjaya Dragon they were going in for, you could see that, you know, Gragas kind of walks in, Chili just, you know, struts in, throwing his cast. That's not Berjaya Dragons. They never ever go in for engagements without the backup from their team members. And, you know, and it was just a very curious series for us to walk through, because it was an absolute annihilation. We expected to see so much more of a fight between these two top dogs.
I think it was just down to like Geek Fam countering BJD perfectly every turn. I mean, even from the way they were just controlling the Dragon fights to the way they just deathballing their way through BJD's composition here, splitting up their lineup effectively here in order to take down the Corki, because they knew keeping them away from the Orianna was the right call here. The Vi just really did her best there. So yeah, Geek Fam, I mean, straight off after that win on the BJD, they went on to dominate yet another team here, Eminence Raptors.
Yeah, this was group stage day 5, match 4. They went in just to tap out Eminence Raptors, and you know, quite honestly, game number 1, Eminence Raptors took it even better than Berjaya Dragon.
Oh yeah, they kept it so close here, but you can see that in terms of the macro, they were also very close. There was a slight advantage to Geek Fam, but it was really the Baron fights here that made all the difference here. You can see the way Geek Fam just immediately committed so hard to getting into the pit here. And the thing is that Eminence Raptors, they were left completely scattered. They were caught completely off guard there. They didn't expect Geek Fam to come in that strong and hard there. And in fact, that pretty much the ace there allowed them to pick up the Baron buff, and they were able to use this to push all the way into the base. Look at this double take up and kill knock up here. Wow, that was just so impressive.
Impressive, and it was a disappointing game for me, if you ask me, because Eminence Raptors, they started off the game so well. They picked up the Infernal Drake, and then later on, they picked up the Cloud Drake as well. And you know what they needed to do was to not go in and make mistakes, and that was exactly what they did. They made that mistake, and that Baron call was just unnecessary, if you ask me.
Well, sometimes, you know, it's one thing for your team to make a mistake, but the other thing is that when you're competing against someone, you have to capitalize on those mistakes, and Geek Fan did that perfectly here.
Yes.
So this was another impressive double kill here. I mean, it was so quick because you can see the amount of damage that was coming up from Geek Fan's lineup. It gave them so much confidence to rush in on the with the Braum in order to get the tower dive onto the Ezreal. I mean, at this point here, it looked like Geek Fan was pretty much set to win it, because by the 12-minute mark, 15-3, it's not even close here in round 2.
Yeah, in round 2, it was an absolute shutdown. Eminence Raptors, they started off with so much of promise. And, you know, once they got broken after that Baron fight, it was just a no comeback. It was all out the Geek Fam, and they annihilated them. And this was the very first time in the whole of the Icon series we have seen Shelly go all the way up towards the Nexus. Unfortunately, Shelly couldn't get the job done, though.
I mean, doesn't matter. I mean, they managed to take down 3 turrets, you know, in the whole process there, and that pretty much opened the door for Geek Fam to end this in a 2-0 dominant streak here against Eminence Raptors. Very well done. The last fight here took a little bit of a while, but then again, in the long run, Geek Fam still showing themselves why exactly they're on top of the board right now. Absolutely impressive.
Yeah, there's no doubt at all that Geek Fam literally is one of the best. But at the start of the Icon series, based on, you know, their performance in the preseason itself, there was just something about the Bajaya Dragons that gave me so much of confidence that they will be able to tap out Geek Fam. But the problem is, it is Geek Fam that is doing it to everybody else. And more dishearteningly, they took on Bajaya Dragons and they slayed them. They slayed the Dragons 2-0, right? And that's just going to set up the perfect storyline for the playoffs, because it could just be the ultimate comeback for Bajaya Dragons.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to see when that storyline plays out, because you know, when playoffs comes in, the storylines will start to change. You know, the strong group, the teams in the group stage may not be that strong when they're up in the brackets. So I can't wait. I can't wait. You know, it's really been 3 weeks of work that all these teams have done here, and you can see that Geek Fam has been taking all those learnings over the last few weeks here and just applying it into all their games here, and that's why you're seeing them right on the top. They've done their homework, they've done their practice, and they know exactly what to do, what the game plan was when they were up against BJD.
No doubt about that at all. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, a quick short break. Victor and I will be right back.
Before we jump into the next one, here's a quick reminder for all of you mobile gamers out there. The ESL Mobile Open is just around the corner, so head over to Twitter right now and get all of those details. Tell your friends, build a team, and earn a spot in the finals.
Feel the lights, see the stage, hear the vibe. Pumped up to get ready for the fight. Big dreams, one chance, be the star. I'm the winner coming out of the dark.
Step out as a motivator. Let them know that the weight's up. That's how we know when we level up. Ay, that's how we know when we level up.
Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? It's time, get up.
Back against the wall, still I'm standing tall. Know about the ball, I got my fan with me. That's how we know when we level up. Yeah, that's how we know when we level up. Level up.
All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. It's time, get up.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is the ESL Mobile Open Recap Show. Once again, where we take all of the weekly action, condense it, and serve it up onto a silver platter for you. My name's AJ. I'm the Mustachio, down here with Victor to bring you all of this news.
Yeah, indeed. We've already witnessed all the highlights here throughout this last week. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, because certainly there was a lot of really good things to take out of that. And for me particularly, it's really encouraging to see the level of support that we've been getting, you know, for a lot of these games. Because especially for some of these newer titles here, it's really great to see that there's been plenty of participation for these. But certainly, I think for the folks at home, it should be motivation for you guys as well to come and join us here, because the more the merrier, you know, basically the more players we have in this ladder, the more competitiveness we will see in the scene as time goes on.
And I'll give you guys a little hack here. I'll tell you exactly the games that do not have a lot of participation, because then you just need to show your faces and you will be able to go toe-to-toe with quite the number of big names in here. Asphalt 9 Legends is definitely looking for more players. Brawl Stars, we could definitely do with more solid teams in here for Brawl Stars, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Legend of Runeterra, I don't know. It looks like it's currently being dominated by the black team already. These two games mainly, right?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that, especially with Legends of Runeterra, it's really down to like your strategy. You know, it's about the kind of decks you're able to build, and usually it takes quite a bit of time. So I don't expect people to be able to jump in and win on Legends of Runeterra just right off the bat. But for the other games, especially for Asphalt and Brawl Stars, I mean, it's just so simple. Literally, once you already got up to speed through the tutorials and stuff, you can already start literally participating and winning games. And it's just like that, you know. Brawl Stars, especially, it's made the gameplay so simple here. It's so easy to pick up. Even a child can do it. Even my grandma can do it. Seriously.
You guys should check out the tournament dates here. Here are the dates for you. Make sure you block your calendars off. 11th of May all the way down to the 3rd of June, we have got the Ladder 2 of Brawl Stars going on. And then on the 18th of May, we've got the Ladder 2's Cup 1 for PUBG Mobile.
Yeah, and on the 16th of April to the 9th of May, we've got the first ladder of Legends of Runeterra, and the 14th of May to the 6th of June will be the second ladder. So 2 ladders for you to choose from. You can compete in both of them, or you can compete in one of them. It's up to you, really. But just know that there's plenty of slots for you if you do decide to pick up that game.
Absolutely. And these are your upcoming broadcast dates. Let's take a quick look at them. We will have it divided into 4 segments here. The 10th and the 13th of May is when you'll be able to catch the playoffs for the Icon Series MY for League of Legends Wild Rift. And today, if you stay tuned, we will have the ladder of Brawl Stars coming up for you guys.
Yeah, I can't wait, because we've been watching all these guys all throughout, only through highlights. We've not actually seen their games live. And this will be the first time both me and AJ will be able to experience the games as they come. So I can't wait. This is going to be the highlight of my day for sure.
Absolutely, man. 15th of May, Asphalt 9 Legends. And this is the one that I was asking and encouraging you guys to participate in the future. PUBG Mobile, the 29th as well as the 30th of May. We will see all of that action come to your screen.
Yeah, so that's all the broadcasts are going to be coming up, so make sure you mark your calendars there, or better yet, you know, just go ahead and like and follow the page here, because on the ESL Asia page and the ESL Malaysia page here, whenever we come on live, you will receive a notification for it, so you know exactly when to jump into the live streams and watch your favorite teams or your favorite games being played here in the ESL Mobile Open.
Absolutely. You know, Wild Rift, Legends of Runeterra, as well as PUBG Mobile, that's why I'm not, you know, out there encouraging people to just go in there, jump in and straight away try it, because yes, it does need a little bit more team coordination to be able to step into games like that, as well as, you know, take the scene by storm. But if you just want to go in and play against the other teams just to see exactly how well you fare on the ladders, go right ahead. No preparation is needed, as long as you have got enough number of players to register and you can make yourselves available for those ladder dates as well as times, because the ladder matches are only open at very, very specific times.
Yeah, and the way I like to look at it sometimes is, you compare this to like just going to play ranked, you know, with your friends.
Yes.
You know, would you rather just play ranked just to up your rank by yourselves, or would you rather play for actual money, for actual cash prizes? You know, I would just pick the latter option any time of the day, because I like money.
And also, if you just play ranked within the game, the probability of you just going up the ladders and being at the top 10 of Asia or something is going to be quite difficult. You jump into the ESL Mobile Open, we will literally be shouting your names up as you climb up on that ladder, and it's being published to the whole of the Asia Pacific region. What are you even waiting for, ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls? The ESL Mobile Open is for everyone, and we were not kidding when we said that.
Yeah, indeed. It's fun for everyone. Gates open. Come on in. You're all welcome. Basically, just come on.
On that note, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you so much for joining us at the recap show. Once again, my name's AJ. I'm the Mustachio. Don't forget to follow Victor and I on our socials. We will be back right next week to bring you all of the condensed action once again.
Before we jump into the next one, here's a quick reminder for all of you mobile gamers out there. The ESL Mobile Open is just around the corner, so head over to Twitter right now and get all of those details. Tell your friends, build a team, and earn a spot in the finals.
Feel the lights, see the stage, hear the vibe. Pumped up to get ready for the fight. Big dreams, one chance, be the star. I'm the winner coming out of the dark.
Step out as a motivator. Let them know that the wait's up. That's how we know when we level up. Ay, that's how we know when we level up.
Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? It's time, get up.
Back against the wall, still I'm standing tall. Know about the ball, I got my fan with me. That's how we know when we level up. Yeah, that's how we know when we level up. Level up.